Hi all, welcome to the final whistle, and it's another game, another match preview. Leicester City, can we make it 5 unbeaten in the league? That's the question. We face Lancashire side Preston North End, who come to the King Power Stadium, who sit in third place. Ryan Lowe's side plays some really good stuff. They obviously had a result against West Brom at the weekend, losing 4-0. Leicester beat Preston's local rivals, well, should we say it, Blackburn Rovers, 4-1. So, like I say, this one is going to be a good game on Wednesday night. I've got Ollie from Deep Dale Digest joining me. I've got Sam Whedon, another Preston supporter, joining me as well. We're gonna chat with the opposition to get their thoughts ahead of this game. We're going to get to know the opposition. Then we're going to do the foot in both camps. Last time round, all these stats, team selection, all that, you know how it is. You know how it works. Guys, get involved as always. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe button. Let's have a look who's in. Michael, how are you, pal? Are you well? Casey, how are you, mate? Callum's in as well. How are you, Callum, mate? Yeah, the championship predictions be on Thursday, mate. Week 11. But yeah, let's get my guests in. Mr. Sam Whedon. Sam, how are you, mate?
I'm really good, thank you, Jack. How are you, pal?
I'm all right, pal. Thank you. Let's get Ollie in from the digesting side of Preston North End. Deep Dale Digest. How are you, Ollie, mate?
Not too bad, mate. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Ollie, we'll start with you, pal. Plug your channel and what you do for Preston North End.
Deep Dale Digest, just writing about North End pretty much every day. Sort of hop on podcasts every now and then, and yeah, you can catch all my North End stuff at deepdaledigest.com.
And Sam, what about you, mate?
I don't really attach to anything, really. I occasionally feature on the podcast from the Finney, which does really well. And I know Ollie's featured on that as well. But yeah, obviously, check out From the Finney as well, and check out Deep Dale Digest. You know, they produce, the best North End content, in my opinion. Although I am slightly biased to say that. But yeah, all good stuff if you're a Preston fan.
Yep. Boys, Leicester versus Preston, Wednesday night. Let's get to know the opposition. Talk to me about Preston's transfers, Ryan Lowe, and talk to me about the season so far, boys. Who wants to pick up on it first?
Go on, Ollie. I'll give you the honours, mate.
Cool. Yeah, transfer window. I don't know what you thought, Sam, but I thought it's probably one of our best in a long time. Thought we had quite a good blend of sort of getting championship experience in alongside going to the European market for once, because it feels like a while since we've really looked at getting players in from abroad. So yeah, I think the window set us up pretty well for this good start that we've had.
Yeah, massively. Just to add to that, Ollie will agree with me here, but I think we've said this for every summer, really, been off for the last few years, saying that it's a massive window, but this one really felt like it. You know, you lost a good chunk of top goals with Tom Cannon, who I'm sure will come across. He's obviously signed for Leicester for big money, and then we also lost Alvaro Fernandez, who went back to Manchester United, who really set Deep Dale alight. As a real top quality prospect, and also Daniel Johnson, who'd been with the club for the best part of a decade. So you've lost some big characters and some really top quality players. So I think it was massive that we made an impact in the window, and I think I agree with Ollie. Yeah, it was certainly one of the best windows I can remember since the return to the Championship. A good mix of Championship experience, people like Dwayne Holmes, who ticks a box there, and Jack Watmore, for example, who's played at this league before, and also a bit of foreign excitement with Milutin Osmajic and Mads Frotjær Jensen as well. Exciting players for the fans to get behind.
How has Ryan Lowe changed the era since Alex Neil, boys? Do you feel he's influenced it quite a lot since coming in and taking over since Alex Neil?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I was a big Alex Neil fan. I know that's not a view that's shared by a lot of Preston fans, but I mean, I was personally a big Alex Neil fan, but I don't think you can really doubt the impact that Ryan Lowe's had in terms of what he's done off the field, essentially, as well, in terms of really reuniting that club, with the fans after what was a pretty turbulent era towards, the end of COVID, the end of Alex's tenure and that, pretty shocking appointment of Frankie McAvoy. So we really reunited the fan base, which is massive. And I think that's reflected in the fact that he's, Ollie might agree with me here, he's the only real Preston manager that we've seen properly back since we've been back to the Championship. And, I think this is the first year where going into it, Ryan Lowe's, really got questions to be asked of him. He has been back now. He's got his players through the door. We're going into his second full season, third season at the club now. He knows the Championship quite well, so it's right now he's got to kick on. There is questions, about his playing style and, results against the bigger clubs, which we'll come on to. But yeah, he's been back now, so it's time to show that he is the man that, Preston fans seem to think he is.
And Ollie, talk to me about Preston's season so far, mate. You sit third in the Championship, 6 wins from your opening 9 games. I mean, it's got to be good, hasn't it, being a Preston fan right now? I mean, you've been top of the Championship so far this season. How have you found it as a Preston fan, mate? And what was your predictions for Preston at the start of the season?
My predictions at the start, I think, because I did the predictions for 4-4-2, and I think I said that at the time we would probably be sort of lower mid-table unless we got a few sort of quality signings in. And now that's actually happened. It now feels like we can have a real go at the top 6. It was great to see us go top of the league, but the last time we went top, I think the world was hit with COVID a few months later. So let's just not have a repeat performance.
How have you found the season so far, Sam?
Enjoyed it, yeah. I think pleasantly surprised is the word. I mean, I was saying to you just off camera before, and reflecting what Ollie said, really, we went into the season, really needing a couple of recruits, which we eventually got in Osmajic and Liam Miller as well, who have both, impressed. But I think you might know more than me, Ollie. Was it 5 young academy lads on the bench at Bristol City? 4, something like that?
It was a lot. We started the season with sort of quite a few injuries, and the recruitment wasn't fully done yet, and it just meant that a lot of young lads that were kind of featured a lot in pre-season because we didn't have the squad depth. They were all suddenly on the bench, like Felipe Rodriguez Gentile, like, is he 17? And he was sort of like the next striker on the bench because we just didn't have the bodies. But now we've got players in and players back from injury. The bench is looking about as strong as I've seen it for quite a while, I think.
Well, that's Ben Whiteman on the bench says a lot. He's a top Championship player in my opinion. And then, Will Keane as well, who started on the bench at the weekend, had a really good start to the season before his injury. So there's a lot to be optimistic about in terms of the playing squad, I think.
Yeah, talk to me about the result at West Brom. Obviously, you guys have been picking up quite a few draws. You was unbeaten for quite a bit of the time. You then go to the West Brom game. A West Brom side who's been a bit of mixed bag results so far this season. A 4-0 thrashing, should we call it, Deepdale. How do you digest that one then, Mr. Deepdale Digest?
It just one of those days where it felt like it just wasn't going to happen. I do think Corberan is just such a good sort of tactician at this level as well, where you sort of went into the game looking at their form saying it's maybe not what you're used to seeing from a West Brom side in the Championship, but Corberan is just so good that they're going to have those performances in them, and we just never seem to get going. Like, you're kind of hoping after half time that we can come out and give it a go. They score a deflected goal and it's 3-0, and that's basically it then. And you've just the 4th goal again, just a bit of a scrappy one from close range, and just one of those days. I think every team has one of them where everything that can go wrong felt like it did a little bit.
Yeah, agreed. I'm gonna get Terry's comment to you. It's a question, Sam. I'm gonna let you answer this one. Let's have their thoughts on Tom Cannon. Joined you lot last January, didn't he? 20 appearances, I believe he made for Preston. What was your thoughts on Tom Cannon?
I really like Tom Cannon. I think he's a big prospect for the future in terms of the type of player he is. he reminds me a bit, obviously not to the same level yet as what Jamie Vardy was. He's very, very quick. He's a real ice cold finisher about him, and that reminds me of that Jamie Vardy thing. I mean, he had big boots to fill, really, because we had Cameron Archer who absolutely smashed it for us on loan the year before, and then he came back to us, big boots to fill. Took him a while to get going, but did really well. He's an ice cold finisher, runs really well and beyond. I think he'll be a big success in this Leicester team with the amount of chances he creates.
Yeah, well, I believe Preston are in form this season. All the best for the match. That's from a Newcastle fan. Talk to me about Leicester. I mean, what's your initial thoughts on Leicester, boys? Ollie, have you watched much of Leicester this season, despite going to spank your local rivals, Blackburn Rovers? I'm sure that was a good feeling, you lot, watching that game on Sunday.
Oh, loving it.
Yeah, one of the few things that made the weekend results bearable, I think. I just think you look at Leicester, like the strength of the squad is like unbelievable. You can take Jamie Vardy off and bring on Ian Acho. Patson Daka doesn't even get a look in. Like, it's just overwhelming, really, when you look at the options Leicester have got. And there's been a couple of games where it's like it hasn't seemed like Leicester have been absolutely 100% at it, and still sort of getting used to Maresca's style of play and what he wants, because it's quite a big change. But the quality is just so good for this level that they're still just able to get results. So yeah, we're a bit of a daunting trip for us tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, Sam, for opinions on Leicester so far this season?
Yeah, just echoing what Ollie says, really. I mean, I know you've had the parachute payments, and I know you had a really good squad, coming down from the from the Premier League, as well, and it reflects everything you want to say. I know you can tell it's a squad that was largely, winning the FA Cup 2 years prior to relegation, and obviously building on that Premier League success and a few runs in Europe. It's a really, strong squad, which you expect from a team that comes down. But, I can't personally remember a squad this strong, in the starting 11 and depth in this championship for a very long time. And I'd be, early days, but I'd be very surprised if you didn't win the league, or certainly top two.
I believe if we beat Preston, we've had the best start ever to a championship season any team has. At the minute, we're tied with Sheffield United. They had 24 points or so. We've equalled that. If we beat Preston, then we become the best side to have the best ever start to the championship season. Let's get on to Leicester Preston. We'll do team selection, score predictions, and that later. We'll obviously get your thoughts, Ollie, first on the Wednesday night football. What do you reckon to the game itself? What's your opinions of it?
I think I'd feel a lot better if we hadn't just got beat 4-0. It just feels like, even if we'd got a draw out of Saturday's game, you're still going into this game sort of still unbeaten, not reeling from a big defeat. But yeah, I think it is going to be pretty hard for us. Anything but a Leicester win would surprise me, to be completely frank about it. But, we'll go there and hopefully try to cause an upset like we've done a few times before in this league.
Yep. Sam, thoughts on the game itself?
Yeah, again, I echo what Ollie says. I'll be very surprised if Leicester don't win. I think my biggest worry with this Preston team, and I'm sure Ollie will back me up on this, is, under Ranlow especially, as much as he has done well since he's been here, one of my biggest pet peeves is he tends to struggle tactically in the big game at times in his era that we've conceded 3 or more goals. So that's my biggest worry when we come up against these top oppositions, that we tend to get unpicked quite easily. And I think we're quite limited with the centre-backs we have on show, which tends to come in. So I imagine we'll come there, sit back and play for a point as such, and then anything else we get will be a complete bonus.
Is it true Preston play a 5 at the back?
Yeah.
Do you see you lot coming to the King Power tomorrow and sitting deep?
Yeah, massively. We do that every week, mate.
100%.
That's the strategy.
I thought I'd asked the question before. This one, it's going to be a tough test for Leicester. Of course, every game is in the Championship. You can't overlook a side like Preston. I think they'll come in frustrators. Obviously, I'd expect them to sit deep with a 5 at the back that they play, but they're no pushovers, are they? They can score goals, Preston. It's proven. They have had a good start to the season, but it's how they react to that West Brom defeat is how the game's going to go. I mean, they're wounded at the minute, aren't they, from that result? I mean, they've gone from unbeaten to beaten now, so they've had that taste of a defeat this season. So all the sides have. So this one's a tricky game. I think the midfield battle is going to be key again. I think this is a game where Leicester's got to be clinical again, take our chances. I mean, we like to play out from the back and pass it as much as we can and get Preston to come on us to then get through you lot to create that space. I don't know if you watched us against Blackburn where Vestergaard sits on the halfway line and then he got Blackburn to then come and then we just passed the ball through. I think we offer quite a lot of threat in this game. I do feel we've got enough quality to win this one, to be fair. I do feel Jamie Vardy again, I mean, scored against Blackburn at the weekend, a fantastic goal. I think it's something that he'll relish, having got 3 goals so far in the league. But yeah, a lot of fans seem to chant about Jamie Vardy's wife, and I don't think it'd be one of them where Preston won't do it. So if they do, then they've just got to expect the repercussions. And if Vardy does score, they've just got to expect a banter back. But no, it's all good fun at the end of the day. You know, it's all banter. And Vardy, you know, is the biggest shithouser in here. One of the biggest shithousery footballers in the Championship. So, yeah, Leicester, like I say, unbeaten in the last 4. Can we go 5 unbeaten? I think yes. But like I say, Preston offer a threat and you can't overlook them by any stretch of the imagination. Like I say, we've seen some freak results with like Sunderland, Southampton, Plymouth going to thrash bloody Norwich, and I don't see it being that sort of high-scoring game, of course. But like I say, a lot of results have been surprised where you think some of the games where you think these teams are going to win, like Leeds beating Southampton, then it all of a sudden goes the other way. But like I say, Leicester's atop of the league, aren't they? As we speak, 8 wins out of 9, a fantastic run so far. Who is your key threat in this game, Sam, from a Leicester perspective, and who do Leicester need to look out for?
For me, I mean, a lot of fuss was made about Osmajic when he came in. I think, you know, he's nice slotted up front, but the players really stood out for me on deadline day, sort of went under the radar a bit as a catch with Liam Miller. I think he had an electric debut against Plymouth Argyle with a goal and assist in the first 25 minutes of being Preston player. And even though he's blown a bit hot and cold in the game since then, I think his electrifying pace and his ability to, you know, bring the ball out for us and get past the player, I don't think we have another player in that ilk. And I think in terms of us transitioning from that 5 at the back and bringing the ball up the field, I think he'd be the key threat for us.
Yeah, Ollie, threat from Preston, and who do you see a threat from Leicester?
I think Dwayne Holmes is probably going to be pretty important for us. Like, I don't think when he signed, many Preston fans were sort of thinking, what a great, you know, sort of season-changing signing that is. But he just seems to get things done in the final third. Like, he's already chipped in with quite a few goals and assists in just a few weeks. So, yeah, I think, you know, he's a proven Championship player, and he's one that I think we'll be looking to at Leicester. In terms of sort of who you've got, I mean, is Steffi Mavididi going to be playing? Because he had a bit of a spell with us once upon a time.
Yes, I'm sure Mavididi will play.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really look at it with us, did he, Sam?
No, long time ago, man. Wasn't it?
Struggled.
Did you not have him at a very young age, though?
It was 6 years ago, was it? Alex's first
2017,
season?
Yeah. I think it was his first loan, wasn't it, to be fair?
There's one we looked at for footing both counts, Mavididi.
So, yeah.
I think a lot of us don't remember him being here, that's why.
Yeah. I think it's sod's law that he'll probably score, and then Vardy, because Preston fans will probably remember Phil Brown wanting us to sign him from Halifax Town, God knows how many years ago, and we never pulled the trigger on it, and look what he's gone on to become. So, yeah, I'm sure he'll be sniffing around for a goal as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think this will be a good game of football, and like I say, a tough game. But it's one that Leicester relished, you know what I mean? Like, to play sides like Preston, who, you know, they can be expansive at times, and I just feel with Preston that they'll like to want Leicester on the counter attack in it when they do bring that passing play forward quite a bit, like Blackburn did. Blackburn, you know, they just waited for Leicester to get forward and want to hit it over the top. Have you lot got pace on the counter attack?
it's something we've definitely improved. And ran low. He said going into the summer window that we lack pace, and that was something he identified, and he has brought in Osmajic, who I think has a turn of pace, although he's not really shown it yet. And Liam Miller, I mentioned before as well, has got that pace in behind and on the ball as well.
Yep. Let's have a look at some stats, boys. Let me get this bottom part out of the way. Head-to-head stats. Table position, first versus third. 8 wins to 6. 2 draws for you lot. 1-1 draw. 1-1 in the losses department. What do you actually make of that? I mean, that's a good stat to show that 2 sides have really done well so far this season, haven't they, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, I had a bit in your hand off for that going into Bristol City when we had the 5 or 6 young lads on the bench. So I'll start definitely taking a lot of people by surprise, and everyone at the club deserves massive credit for that. It's just the challenge now going into this game and the Ipswich game to keep going forward best we can and keeping around that top 6.
What's your initial thoughts on the fixtures, Leicester, Ipswich, and that, Ollie, mate? I mean, how many points do you see Preston getting realistically?
Sounds very negative, but I mean, it's hard to see us getting 3 points out of that. Like, I can't see us winning either of these games. I would happily take a point from both and just get them out of the way. That's another thing where, like, the West Brom defeat hurts a bit because now you're going into facing the top 2 teams, and it can easily become 3 defeats in a row out of nowhere. So it's just one of those quirks with the fixture list, I guess, where we've got this tough week coming.
Yeah. Did you ever fancy coming back in for Daniel Iverson at all, or was that a no-go?
At the time, I think North End fans would have absolutely loved him back, but
it was your player of the season, wasn't he? Last time he went,
yeah,
he was. But then we signed Freddie Woodman, and I don't know. Would you swap Woodman for Iverson now? I don't think I would now.
I don't know really. I think obviously Woodman's just become a massive part of the club, and he's a good keeper. I think it's a weird one. I think at the time I was more happy with Freddie Woodman on a permanent than on Iverson on a loan, because we had that permanent asset. But after who I'd rather take on a permanent, it's a toss-up really. I think if Woodman ever left, Iverson would be the signing I'd want us to make. If he was in our budget, which is a big if. But 2 quality goalkeepers, and I'm surprised Daniel Iverson's not really made more of an impact at Leicester. I'm sure Ollie echoes my thoughts on that because he was outstanding at this level for us.
Yep, I agree.
I think it probably comes down to his distribution a little bit with Maresca, because that was probably his big drawback at North End, was that he wasn't the sort of modern day goalkeeper and all that. And I think Maresca's so set on playing that way that I can understand why he might not think Everson's the right man for that.
He's not a ball playing out. He's not a ball playing out goalkeeper, is he, lads?
No, not at all.
He very much struggles with that.
That's something that I'd noticed with his distribution and that. It's not. He can save a ball fantastically. You know what I mean? He can get to things that you think he won't get. Any goalkeeper get near. But then if you look at his distribution, his kicking and that. That's the thing that lets him down the most. Let's have a look at Championship head-to-head. Played 12 against each other in the Championship. 3 wins to 4, 5 draws. You lot have been our bogey team at times, let's be honest. What's been your most memorable game, Leicester versus Preston or at Deepdale? I mean, what's been your most memorable game, Sam?
What, between Leicester and Preston, or just Preston in general?
Leicester beat Preston. It
was slightly before my time, but I think I've only ever seen clips of it. Andy Lonergan scored. Our goalkeeper scored from his own penalty area once at the King Power, didn't he? So that's probably the standout. To be fair, I think you might remember that Jack by reaction there.
Yeah, not the bloody great insight, Samuel, but we'll jog the memory a bit. Ollie, what about you, mate?
One at Deepdale, which is going back about 20 years, I reckon, is I think Ricardo Fuller scored some ridiculous solo goal against Leicester one night at Deepdale, just going past Leicester defenders for fun. And then one at the King Power was Darren Carter's last-minute winner for us in 2008, was it? When we were battling to stay up in the Championship, and he just absolutely hammered one into the top corner in the last minute.
Yeah, it is. I think probably our most memorable one was when Gallagher scored against you when we beat you 1-0. Obviously Gallagher, great player, great penalty taker, which we'll get onto him later on. Let's have a look at the last 5 meetings at the King Power in the league. Not the greatest of stats from a Leicester fan point of view. If you look at it, I mean, Preston have beat us 4 times. We've won once, which obviously was the last time we played you lot in 2010 at the KP. Do you guys remember any of them games against Leicester?
I think I was at the one in April 2006. I think Matty Fryatt scored first minute and we had to come from behind, off the top of my head.
Sam?
I just distinctly remember off the top of my head. Obviously, I'm a bit, no disrespectful, a bit younger than Ollie, so I started photos a bit later. But I distinctly no disrespect in that regard, but I distinctly remember it was all doom and gloom in that 2010 one, wasn't it? Because I think that's the year we went down from the Championship, isn't it? Where you just couldn't get anywhere, couldn't get anything really at that level, and we had a pretty shocking start that Phil Brown obviously couldn't turn around when he came in.
Yeah, bloody Leicester at them bloody times just hand goes to bloody anybody and wins. Do you know what I mean? You could with Leicester, it's the case that you're on a good run and then you play a side like Preston on the run that they're on, or they're down there in the relegation zone. You're thinking, oh yeah, we're going to win this game. Do you know what I mean? And then you go into it and then you think, oh, for God's sake, man. You let the first goal away and it's thinking, oh, God, here we go. And, that's football in general. You always get them sort of games, don't you, when you're playing a relegation side where you always think to yourself, 3 points here. You sit there, rub your hands before the game, and then you go into the game and then you watch the game and you think, oh, how have we gone and lost that game? But then it's a mad one, to be fair. But yeah, Leicester and Preston, we've not got the greatest bloody record. I think if you look at history-wise, I think you beat us 31 times in total, and we beat you 15 times. I think that's the stat on the 11v11 head-to-head. But yeah, don't really want to look at that stat, but I had to anyway, because that's the only way we had to look at the last 5 in 5. Last time out in the Championship at the KP, we were a 1-0 win. Paul Gallagher, former Preston man. Well, he is now, because he's now at Stoke, isn't he? Is it assistant to Alex Neil?
First team coach, I think, so something like that.
So last time we played you, we ended up winning 1-0. Fantastic. But it's been a while, hasn't it, since Leicester's played Preston then, hasn't it, boys?
Yeah, to be fair, there's been a lot of league swapping. I think we've been down in League One. You had a little spell down in League One, and then obviously you've been living every supporter's dream, haven't you? Winning the Premier League and in the Champions League and the FA Cup. So polar opposite fortunes, I think, since the last time we met, isn't it?
Yup. Foot in both camps. I mean, we'll start with the first one. Callum Davidson, decent left back for the Foxes in his time at Leicester. I believe he then went on to play for Preston from Leicester. What was your initial thoughts of Callum Davidson? I think he went to captain Preston, is that right?
Yeah, captained us for a bit. I think he had a bit of a bad run with injuries at first, and once he got over that, he was a really solid player for us. Especially
Ross, turn your camera around, mate. Put some light on.
There we go.
Is that better?
Yeah, I want your full concentration, Ross, please. Put some light on, Ross.
All right, give me a sec. Jesus. Right, sorry, Dad.
Yeah, carry on, Ollie, mate.
Is that better?
Yeah, there we are. See your face. Fantastic.
Quality penalty taker is something I'll remember about him. Felt like he just used to run up and absolutely hammer it in.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Jordan's story, Ollie, mate?
Dropped a little bit of a clanger at the weekend. I still don't think he's absolutely ideal for playing right-sided centre-back in a back three, just in terms of his mobility and sort of playing out from the back. But he's been a decent defender, and he's certainly improved sort of since coming back from his loan at Sheffield Wednesday.
Yep. Ian Hume. I mean, we'll start with you, Ross. Ian Hume. Start with Ian Hume, Ross. Good career at Leicester. One of the fans' favourite. Talk to me about Ian Hume's time at Leicester.
Well, obviously, he was in a side when he happened to be in a side when we weren't great. But he still scored goals, and him and Fryer in the second season as well. And obviously, it's a shame. Well, gutted he left, but obviously, I can understand why he left. Obviously, he didn't want to play League One football. But then he did it for Preston. No offense. But we'll always lay Hume down our way. Obviously, I don't know if he well loved at Preston.
Oh, massively.
Yeah, I remember he scored against us.
But he scored against us a few times, Ross.
The last time we played you at Deepdale, I was there. The Yakubu's debut for Leicester, and Hume scored the last kick of the game. But no, your fixture. I don't know if you remember when your goalkeeper scored for it against us.
Yeah, Sam brought it up, Ross.
Andy Lonigan. Bloody Kevin Pressman.
Sam, talk to me about Ian Hume.
Oh, Ian Hume, he's probably the first Preston player I idolised growing up. There's something quite signature about him, obviously. Quite squat, came to the club in, quite a bad period and hit it off straight away, really. I think he scored 2 in his first 2, including the one that sealed, a famous victory for Preston away at Ellen Road in the 6-4, and stayed with us down in League One. Was firing them in, then had quite infamous fallout with Graham Wesley at the time, and that pretty much spelled the end at North End. But I think he was very much a shining light in quite a dark time for us as a football club, really, during that relegation to League One.
Wasn't he the manager of Stevenage before?
Yeah, that's the one.
I thought you were. Sorry, go on. I fired him.
It's a dark, shining light in a dark time.
Yeah.
Next one is Sean St. Ledger. Obviously, you could say one of the fans' favourites at Preston. The amount of appearances he made for you lot. Very good player for both clubs. Represented well for both teams. Ollie, what was your thoughts on Sean St. Ledger?
At the time, one of my favourite players. I absolutely loved St. Ledger. I think it's the only time I can remember where sort of transfer rumours were really very prominent around a Preston player, and it got to a point where after a game against Swansea, I think someone ran on the pitch and was sort of begging him to stay. I can't remember ever seeing that before or since at North End. Yeah, I thought St. Ledger was quality. Loved him and David Nugent together, which then you guys got to experience at some point.
Yeah, the old connection. Scored a good goal against Wycombe for Leicester, didn't he, Ross?
Yes.
In that cup game. Sean St. Ledger. Made over 30 odd appearances for Leicester, did he, Ross?
He did, obviously, with his injuries and stuff. I mean, he actually had a fallout at Pearson at one point.
We're not having none of that, Ross.
No.
I think a few did, didn't they?
Don't bloody fall out with him.
But he redeemed himself, though, because I always remember I was in the local hero listening to the interview. I think we just lost. Anyway, Sean St. Ledger's on the transfer list. Literally, that's exactly what he said. And the next minute, a month later, he's playing. He's hit first team. I was just like, okay. But no, he was good when he did play, Sean St. Ledger.
Yep.
So.
Next one is Paul Gallagher, one of the best penalty takers to ever take a penalty in the Championship. Paul Gallagher. I just love the way he'd turn his back to the goalkeeper, walk away, and then hit it. That guy was a proper free kick taker as well. The goal against Nottingham Forest, the free kick, Ross, if you remember it. What a fantastic player Paul Gallagher was. He could hit them from long range. The goals that he scored against Crystal Palace, Ross, the double, if you remember it. What a player for Leicester. Always gave 100% when he wore the Leicester shirt. We got him from Blackburn. I believe we can't mention Blackburn to you lot because Preston have quite a few things to say about Blackburn Rovers. If you talk to a Blackburn fan, I'm sure they're the same when you talk about Preston, which obviously we did at the weekend. We said we got Preston next. They said, oh, bloody them lot down the road, not them. We ain't talking about them lot. So yeah, it's a bit of a a bit of a touchy feeling between both sets of fans when it comes to rivalry, Blackburn and Preston.
There's about 50 teams down Lancashire, isn't there?
But now, talk to me about Gallagher, Ross.
Oh, what a player! I mean, obviously, I remember I got my first season ticket in the chat. Obviously, I went to games before, but I'm an actual season ticket. The year we got. No, basically Gallagher. I remember when we signed him. It was so. He didn't actually start doing them penalties until the season after, and he never missed a penalty for us. When he started doing it, it was just so good how he did it. I tried to do it the weekend, but it didn't work out well. But the goals are just insane. I mean, my infamous goal I remember was he got a hat trick against Scunthorpe.
Yeah,
and
the guy Norberto Solano scored him, Ross.
No, Nobby didn't score in that.
You sure? No. We beat him about 5. Was it 5 goals or something?
Yeah, it was 3 from Gallagher, 1 from Kyle Norton, and the other one was, I think it was Matty Fryatt. I'm not sure, but it definitely wasn't.
I swear Nobby Solano scored for Leicester, Ross.
No, he didn't. I guarantee that.
I'm going to look this up now while you're talking. Carry on, Ross, talking about Gallagher.
Fiver says he never scored for us.
All right, then, let me have a look.
He said, all right, that means you see that, lads.
Oh, I said, all right, let me have a look. Alberto Solano. No, he didn't. No, he didn't, actually. I think he set one up, though.
Oh, 5 at bank, yeah?
No.
But no, I really enjoyed having Gallagher. You know, he scored on with his left foot, scored on his right, he scored some chips, headers. He did everything, really. And obviously, then he left. I was gutted he left, but I can understand why. Obviously, he was getting on a bit. But yeah, he was a legend in that part. Shame we never saw him in the Premier League. That would have been pretty cool.
Ollie, Sam, thoughts on Paul Gallagher?
Oh, I think for me, that's still good for you, Ollie. Probably, in terms of what he's done at Preston, certainly since arguably the century and the turn of the decade, he's probably the closest thing we've got to like an iconic Preston footballer. You know, a modern day legend. He really did. He came in League One, was, you know, I'm sure as you know, he was levels and levels above League One, and then obviously he came as a forward player, and then as he, you know, his legs slowed down a bit, he adapted into, you know, one of the best deep line playmakers in the Championship for a while, and, you know, stayed at Preston when he didn't have to. Obviously lit Deepdale up on several occasions. He's, yeah, the closest thing we've probably got to a Deepdale legend as such since the turn of the century, in my opinion. Unbelievable technique, unbelievable player.
Ollie?
Yeah, definitely. Feel like his partnership with Ben Pearson for quite a while was just so good to watch. And I certainly felt this where you thought maybe Gallagher's legs would sort of go. Like every preseason, you'd be like, oh, maybe this will be the year where he slows down, and he'd just keep going and going and going. Just, yeah, incredible player.
The adaptation to his game, like obviously from coming into, as you know, a creative forward to that deep line playmaker alongside Ben Pearson, I don't think it's talked about enough.
Next one is David Nugent, Ross.
Oh, I absolutely love this guy. Do you know the best part about it is we got him for free. You know, all the signings that Sven Goran Eriksson signed that year, and he got Nugent in for free. Absolute steal. You know, we paid £4 million for the biggest lump on earth in Jermaine Beckford. That's another on foot in both camps.
Yes,
whoa.
Slate Beckford to us. No,
yeah, you can't slate Jermaine Beckford to us.
Well, sorry, but right, okay, well, this is the only time we'll agree and disagree. Let me tell you now, if you want any Leicester City fan, their words on Jermaine Beckford, it
was just a bloody FA Cup goal scorer for us.
It would have to be after 9 o'clock, the watershed. He was about as much use as a nun's tit. Absolutely useless for Leicester. For Leicester, anyway. For Everton, did well. For Leeds, did well. Everywhere he went, he scored goals. But for some reason, he just didn't want to do it at Leicester, except the FA Cup.
Right, he didn't actually do that well for us. He just had an unbelievable 6-month spell, didn't he? And that was it, really.
He had a good 6 months for you.
That was very good 6 months.
6 months good at us.
The best thing he did for Leicester was score against Forest.
But anyway, we signed him for £4 million from Everton. We got Nugent for free, but Nugent was our top goal scorer. Nugent contributed a lot more. I mean, I remember we were pretty down in the dumps, and we were playing Southampton, and they were top of the championship at the time. They were flying, like literally. What we're doing now, and then we went to Southampton on a Monday night, and we tore them apart. Nugent scored a banger out of nowhere. Obviously, being a former Portsmouth player, and Matt Mills even scored in that game. That's how weird it was. But no, I love Nugent. We still sing about him on the terraces to this day in away matches. Still talking about David Nugent played for England. He scored against Andorra, So that's how much of a legend he is. You know, when you're a legend at the club, when you sing about former players at football matches.
Yeah, I'm going to cut you there now, Ross. Sam, Ollie, David Nugent.
I'll give you this one, Ollie, but there's too much you can say about Nugent, isn't there?
Yeah, just...
I'll tell you what, we'll just go one each then. Go on.
Just a legend. Like, I'm not sure I'll ever see a Preston player play for England again. Like, just that moment itself was unbelievable. Then for him to score was, yeah. It's a little bit sad that he came back and then it kind of didn't end all that well, I don't think. Kind of struggled a little bit when he re-signed for the club and then just kind of disappeared, didn't he? Like, there was no sort of big goodbye for him or anything. He just sort of left one day and then I don't think he's played again, has he, for anyone?
He's retired.
Did he play for Middlesbrough before he went back to Preston?
Derby, I think. Was it Middlesbrough?
Or was that? Yeah.
Yeah, he sold him for about £5 million to Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I thought 8, I think, when we originally went to Portsmouth.
Yeah, like
David Nugent.
I think we loaned into Tranmere for a little bit, didn't we? And then I think COVID hit, and then I don't know. Don't think anyone's.
He does.
Now it's Leicester City now, isn't he, Ross, doing LCFC TV and media and commentary.
I reckon.
Let's have a look at the other foot in both camps. There's 5 of them here, boys. I tell you what, we're going to start with Daniel Iverson. I want to get your take on him at Preston. Player of the season, successful loan spells at Preston. Talk to me about Daniel Iverson. Sam.
Yeah, I was going to say, we mentioned it before, distribution did let him down. Occasionally commanding his area would let him down, but in terms of a shot stopper, I can't remember seeing anyone, certainly at Preston or arguably in the Championship, that good at, making them outstanding reflex saves. I mean, it was every week. You'd be thinking, how Daniel Iverson saved that? I mean, the one that sticks out for me was played Bournemouth at Deepdale, and it was 1-1, and Nat Phillips has done an unbelievable header going straight into the top corner, and he's miraculously clawed it out to the point where I don't think anyone in the stadium could quite believe it, and we go on to win the game. Sensational shot stopper, but the rest of his game just probably didn't develop at the rate it should have to, feature in the Premier League, which is shot stopping ability is certainly at the level of.
Yeah, I agree. He's made some great saves for Leicester, didn't he, Ross Iverson? Next one we're going to go on to Lenny's Jermaine Beckford. Mr. FA Cup man is what I'm going to put him down as because he scored more in the FA Cup for us, to be fair. Great hat-trick against Nottingham Forest. Could have had 4 if it weren't for that. Was it Boateng, Ross?
Yep.
Yeah. Beckford, I don't know whether it was his attitude or whatever at Leicester. I think it'll Peterborough away, run it, Ross. Beckford stood away when Leicester had a set piece. Or was it Peterborough had the set piece, Ross?
Yeah, Peterborough away it was.
Was it Peterborough who had the set piece or Leicester?
It was Leicester.
Yeah, Leicester and
it might
have been Peterborough.
It was the last minute.
Yeah, and he didn't go and defend it, did he, Ross? He just stood there.
No, we were on the attack.
Yeah.
Honestly, it came in. I think obviously we got him on deadline day. I was pretty buzzing when we signed him. I thought he's done really well at Everton. He's dropping down as a league to try and help us.
Yeah.
And obviously, first couple of games, he's got to adapt, and then he scored 1 or 2, and then I was just like, it's crap. Obviously in the FA Cup, honestly, he goes from being like an Akinbaid in disguise to like a prime Ronaldo in the FA Cup. It was just crazy. The reason I remember that game actually because the match before we drew 0-0 we took 8,000 to the City ground. That's never going to happen again. Yeah, you read that correctly, Sam. The year 2012, we had 2,000, wanted more. Took 4,000, wanted more. Took 6,000, wanted two more. So we ended up, the attendance was 18,000 and something. 8,000 with us.
We take about 7 to Blackburn, but 8,000 was mental support. So
is that the top deck as well?
Yeah, we
didn't get the top deck, but would have been nice. But anyway, yeah, it was just he had an attitude of like a 14-year-old school kid.
It was a set piece. It was a set piece, Ross. Yeah, the free kick.
Yeah, it was trying to impress his mates and that, thinking he's hard and all his attitude, and then it didn't cut it for me. At all. And then when he went to Huddersfield, I think on loan. I remember we beat Huddersfield, and all our fans were trying to bet for what's the score, even though he was still a Leicester player.
Yeah, it was when we were trying to get back in the game against Peterborough. Didn't go in for the free kick, and Bim and Pearson had words, and yeah, not very one you want to have words with Nigel Pearson because you can see how strict he is. Talk to me about Tom Cannon, Ross. Obviously, is it a good signing for Leicester for the long run? Do you reckon?
I think it is. Obviously, it's a shame he's injured at the minute, but I reckon when he comes back in, hopefully. Obviously, it'll take time to get the ball rolling. Of course, it will. But it depends on where we are at that point. Obviously, I know we're top at the minute and everything, but it depends where we are. Obviously, there could be injuries set to come. Obviously, McAteer's out for a bit, which is a shame. But when we have an injury, we've got a good replacement. So obviously McAteer's out now. Atgun comes in, or Fata Will comes in, or Mafididi comes in. Midfield, obviously, if Winks is out injured, you bring in Chowdhury, or we've got loads of replacements. So
that's a joke.
When it's time for Cannon to come on fire, I think he will. Hopefully, can do it. Obviously, I only saw a glimpse of him last season at Preston. And from what I saw, pretty decent. So,
what was it like at Preston, lads? I mean, you lot wanted to sign him in the summer wet transfer window. What was your initial thoughts on Tom Cannon and his loan spell for Preston, Ollie?
Yeah, I felt like he took a few games to adjust to the Championship, which I think is reasonable for a player sort of on their first loan at second tier. It's never easy. But yeah, once he got I think his first goal was against Wigan, where he's just blazed like past their defence and scored one, and then after that he just couldn't stop scoring. Would have loved him to come back, but I think if we'd spent whatever the money was, 5-6 million quid on a striker, and then it turned out he had a stress fracture in his back, I think our fan base would be losing their heads a little bit, even though we love Tom Cannon. I just think Leicester are in a position where it's not as damaging to them as it would have been for us.
Yup. Sam, I'm going to talk to you about Wayne Brown.
Wayne Brown. Again, he was one of the defenders that we had the year we went down, obviously, towards my start of my tenure watching the club. So you're probably better asking Ollie about that. But
Ollie Wayne Brown.
Big bald head.
When he joined us on loan.
No.
Is that how you remember it for? Big bald head, nice defending.
Yeah, shiny. He used to reflect off the football quite well on Tuesday.
Oh, we all remember him and who we voted for in the general election. That's how
All right, Ross, bring that up.
He joined us on loan like a few years before joining us permanently. And he was quite good when he was on loan, sort of good organiser at the back when we needed one. But then when he came permanently, I think the legs were kind of going a little bit, and that team was just a shambles in general, to be honest.
Did you have him from Hull?
I think so, yeah. I think
they signed Pearson, took him from Leicester to Hull.
I think we got him.
I swear he did, Ross, because he played for Hull.
No, I'll tell you what happened. We obviously he was due to the incidents.
The incident. Just keep it like that.
Yeah, he didn't play in the playoffs, and he went to Preston because I remember him playing against Leicester when Leicester won 1-0 because he got booed out. He got booed out of the King Power Stadium, completely. So
he did go to Hull though, didn't he?
Pardon?
He did go to Hull.
Yeah, I think he went after. And
was Pearson the manager at Hull at the time?
Yeah, because remember, he left and we got bloody...
That's what I'm saying. Nigel Pearson took him to Hull.
We got the great Paulo Sousa after him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nigel Pearson took Wayne Brown to Hull. Greg Cunningham. I mean, they're on loan at Leicester. Yeah, it weren't the greatest of injury. It's Hull City away, was it, Ross, for Greg Cunningham? Did all right for Leicester, to be fair to him. At left back, Greg Cunningham. Yeah, the injury wasn't great for him, and yeah, I don't think he ever recovered, did he, Ross, from that injury after he came back?
Because he did well when he first came in.
Yeah,
with Sven with a man with about 20 loan signings.
A loan from Man City.
Yeah, Manchester City. He played really decent, to be fair. And obviously, he adapted really well when he played. And then obviously that horrendous injury, and that was ended his career. Just to go back on the Wayne Brown thing, he played for Hull 2007, 2009. He went to Preston on loan in 2008 for 6 games. We had him on loan for League One in 9 games. The entire season in 2009-10, and he went to Preston after that and never played again. Because he was the manager of Colchester.
So Pearson didn't take him to Hull then?
No.
I'm thinking about someone was it with a Hull manager then? It weren't Phil Brown, was it?
I'm not sure.
Who were the bloody manager of Hull in 2007 and 9, Ross?
Phil Brown.
Phil Brown, yeah, it would have been. I thought it was. So yeah, Pearson didn't take him to bloody Hull then. My God. Boys, we're gonna let you two go first with the team selection. We'll let you do it between you. We'll start with the formation for you two first. What's Preston's formation, and then we'll let you two pick the 11 between you.
Pretty sure what we're calling it, Ollie, a 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2. I'll leave that one to you.
I don't know. He's been playing sort of 2 off the striker this year, hasn't he? So maybe we'll go with that again.
5-2-2-1, I think.
Yeah.
Goalkeeper picks itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think most of the back line does, doesn't it? Woodman, Story, Lindsay, Hughes, I would imagine, unless there's sort of a knock or illness or anything.
My only thought was, would he move Hughes out to left wing back, potentially put Watmore in and be a bit more defensive? But
yeah, possibly.
Do that because I think Lindsay struggles in that channel, doesn't he? I think they've got to protect Liam Lindsay in the way we play.
First half against Birmingham was not good. I thought he'd go Story, Lindsay, Hughes at the back, and then Brady left wing back maybe, rather than playing Miller there.
Yeah, exactly. Then that'll be Potts at right wing back. So for Leicester fans not really knowing, it'll be Woodman in net, Lindsay in the middle of the back three, Story on the right, Hughes on the left, Brady at left wing back, and Brad Potts at the right wing back.
Yep.
The two sitters will probably cause a bit of debate. Yeah, 2 sitting midfielders. We have been rocking with Ryan Ledson and Ali McCann coming in. Obviously, Ryan Ledson's a player who splits opinion with Preston fans. I personally like.
You got Robbie Brady, hadn't you?
Yeah, he'll be left.
We were after him, weren't we, Ross? Robbie Brady, and he ended up signing for bloody Burnley.
Oh,
I remember it.
Oh, back in the day. Right.
Yeah. Carry on, Sam. Sorry.
Yeah. Me personally, I'd like to see Ben Whiteman come back into the side for his first start of the season. Probably alongside, Ali McCann, just for that bit of energy and that tenacity in the midfield.
Is he left mid? Did you say?
No, 2 sitting midfielders for us: Ben Whiteman and Ali McCann.
Oh, that'd be good.
I'll let you do the rest, Ollie.
I would assume it would be Dwayne Holmes and Alan Brown behind. I don't know. Would he go with Keane?
I think you need a Keane in a game like that.
Yeah, I think if he's fit enough to start, it'd be Will Keane up front with Osmajic on the bench, maybe.
Yeah,
I like how we've bigged up these new January signings.
Yeah, we've benched them both.
We're now the picture of either of them our starting 11, but off the bench when we're 3-0 down.
Yeah. So that's your team then to play Leicester.
Yeah, that's what I'd pick.
Ross,
we're
going to have to do this 11 between us. We'll go Edmondson in goal. The goalkeeper picks itself. Ricardo, Vestergaard, Fast, James Just. Oh, Connor Cody, sorry. Vestergaard's out of this one. Yeah, we've got Connor Cody. So Cody, Fast, Justin, Ricardo. Midfield, Harry Winks is going to play. Then we'll have Atgun, and I tell you what, I think he'll play Atgun and Cassidy, Ross, like he did against Norwich.
Do you obviously with McAteers out? So I reckon Mavadini.
I reckon Mavadini will play left.
Yeah.
Nacho play in the middle,
Yeah.
and then outright he'll go with what's his name? Abdul Fatawu.
Fatawu, yeah.
Jamie Vardy come off the bench and score. Yeah, we'll put that on.
Yeah, do that.
Shrewsbury Hall not start for you lot nowadays?
Yeah.
He does, but with this 3 game a week thing, I think when we played Norwich last away game, he ended up putting him on the bench and bringing him on later on. So it's just something that Maresca rotates, isn't it? You know what I mean? He likes to rotate, and obviously at the minute it's worked.
Except it works.
So we might see Dewsbury on the starting 11. We might not. I don't know. It depends what Maresca feels.
That's the thing with us.
One of Pep's prodigies, isn't he? Though roulette's ruined my fantasy football many a time down the years. So
expect the unexpected, because people think, oh, it's going to be the same 11, but it literally, I don't recall. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jack. Every game we've had this season, we've had at least 1 or 2 changes.
2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
the thing is, everyone thinks, oh, it's going to be the same team, but it changes all the time, and I think that's good. You know, when we play Norwich,
it's good to rotate,
and obviously it's good. So
keeps legs fresh as well, and
need to go as to soon, Jack.
I do. Lads, we're going to come to you with the score prediction. Ollie, we'll start with you, mate. Score prediction for tomorrow night.
3-1 Leicester.
3-1 Leicester. Sam?
I'm going to go with 3-0 to Leicester.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I was.
There's me thinking you lot were going to back your own team here, boys.
I'm Mr. Pessimistic.
Preston fans, I'd turn away now. I just pretend you had bloody earplugs in then. You didn't listen to what they said. Ross will go with you for this one. You obviously got the score prediction right at the weekend, 4-1. What's the lottery numbers for this week, Ross?
I tell you now, if Wade Barrett was watching this, he'd give you a full hammer, you two. I tell you. I'm glad. I hope you know. He's actually from Preston. He supports Preston. Goes on about it all the time on wrestling commentary. But,
we go for Ross.
I mean, it'll be a tough game. It will be. You know, everyone thinks we're going to batter him. I mean, I think 3-0, but that's not the point. The point is, it is tough games. Everyone thought we'd batter Rotherham, but we got away with that one when we only won 2-1. So I predicted at the weekend we'd win 4-1. There's videos to prove it. And I kept on saying it in my vlog as well. 4-1. Yeah. I even said in Jack's as well.
So you're going to be sticking with 3-0 then, Ross, yeah?
Yesterday on TikTok Live, 3-0 Leicester.
Okay. I'm going to go 3-0 as well. I do see us having quite a bit of quality this game to see the game through. I think if he does rotate, I think it will still work who he does bring in. Obviously, we've got quality on the bench as well, haven't we? So, like I say, we can change the game when we need to. I do see Preston making it difficult for Leicester, a frustrating one when they do come in sit deep against us. It's about breaking down that wall, shall we call it? Maresca spoke about that today with Preston's 5 at the back. It's about getting round it and then taking our chances and being clinical. So, yeah, I think 3-0 Leicester. I think we'll be clinical. Vardy for me. I think Vardy will score. Iheanacho will get one. I tell you what, I'm gonna go Connor Cody from a corner.
Wow. I think Faz had a ball every day.
He's been one of our best defenders. Guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. Get down and hit the subscribe button. Ross, before I let you go, mate, shout out your TikTok and socials.
If you like strange TikToks and
if you like a man who dresses up in an Hawaiian outfit for an away game, then you know the man to go to.
Do you know what though?
He likes to spray his hair blue.
Do you know what? People can laugh at me at that. I've been to 4 out of the 5 away games in the league this season. I've been to 4 of them in my blue hair, my Hawaiian Leicester City shirt, In fact, my Hawaiian Leicester City shirt, my Hawaiian Leicester City shorts.
There it is.
Sorry, it's the wrong way around. And I spray my hair blue.
No.
4 games out of 4 when I've done it.
Where can everyone find you then, Ross?
Rossi, LCFC, 1993, mainly on TikTok. Oh, okay. That comment's just like trying to like promote my finger. There you go. Rossi, LCFC, 1993. If you want to follow food reviews, just any video really. So yeah.
Cheers, Ross.
In a bit.
Ollie, shout out your podcast, mate, or whatever it is you do. You're right up. Can't hear you, Ollie, mate. You're on mute, pal.
Good spot. Yeah. DeepDaleDigest.com for articles and stuff, and then at Deepdale Digest for tweets.
Cheers, Ollie, mate. All the best for the rest of the season.
All good,
after
mate.
Tomorrow, pal.
Cheers. Yeah, best of luck.
Cheers, mate. Sam, what about you, mate?
Yeah, the podcast I sometimes feature on is @From the Finney on Twitter, obviously named after Preston icon Tom Finney. And for any of my personal tweets, which is mainly just a North End drivel, really, but if that's interested you, have like my opinions today, it's at Weeden, spelled WEEDEN_Sam on Twitter. So yeah, I appreciate any follows.
Cheers, Sam, mate. And like I say, all the best for the season after tomorrow, pal.
Cheers, and yourself, mate. Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Cheers, mate. Take care. That is it from me. The match preview for Leicester versus Preston. A big game at the KB tomorrow. Fingers crossed we can go and get them all important 3 points as the Foxes are on an unbeaten run and hopefully look to make it 5 wins out of 5. Let's hope we can go get that win then, of course. And let's go and maintain our good start. And tough game, of course, but like I say, a big game tomorrow, and a game where we can go 7 points clear of Preston if we win. So I think it's 7 points from third. So, like I say, a big initiative. But let's hope Maresca ball can be in full force and up the Maresca later we go. But yeah, match day vlog will be out Thursday morning. We will be doing the match day vlog tomorrow at the game, of course. We'll have the Championship predictions week 11 Thursday. Friday will be the match preview for Stoke. And that is it from me. If you've enjoyed this match preview, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you again in another stream. Take care, everyone, and good night. Hi all, thank you for watching The Final Whistle. If you enjoy all our content, please remember to smash a like, share and subscribe to the channel.